Hey guys, it's Dave with CigarNoise TV, and tonight we're going to be talking to Barrett, creator of the Cigar Legend. Okay, so if you had to describe the Cigar Legend in an elevator, what would you say?
Like I said, it's a cigar experience book. It's got 3 sections. It goes into your cigar life, your cigar history, and also it allows you to place some of your most favorite bands based on your most favorite moments. So if it's your wedding day, or if it's, especially your 50th birthday or something like that, you can put it in there, and it creates this sort of heirloom over time. And it's something that you build up, and it becomes very special. It's a coffee table style book. It's got 419 band placements, and it's made it's made entirely here in the U.S., which makes it even more special.
And how did the Cigar Legend come about?
I was a graphic design major in college, and my very last class was a product design class where you actually created a product that could be used in the real world somehow and could be sold. And my brother-in-law, his brother had a little moleskin journal. It was this tiny little thing, and he used to put his cigar bands in there, and he would talk about them. They were sort of haphazardly placed in there, but it worked. And I thought to myself, oh man, I could totally do that. And so I taught myself how to make books. I researched paper, leather. I researched how to do all this stuff, and I made my own cigar journal. I should have brought it down here, but and I got an A in the class, and people were saying you should actually sell that. It'd be really cool. But this was in 2012. I got discouraged about it. I couldn't find a printer. There's just not that many printers anymore in the U.S. And so I put it on the shelf until 2014. I went to an entrepreneurship sort of boot camp for 3 months in Chile, on the coast of Chile. And I learned a lot there. And I learned a lot about sort of the fear of starting this kind of stuff. And I overcame all that. And then later that fall, that's how it started. I decided, you know what, if I don't do something like this, no one probably will. And you've got your sort of little small cigar journals that are out there. They're made in China or something. But I wanted to take this to an entirely different level. And that was kind of the base that I started with, was realizing that cigar smokers like nice things. We like classy stuff. So I started from there, and it just kind of built up. And as I got more feedback, more sort of attention, people's ideas and people's thoughts about it went into the book as I was designing it. So it took about a year to do. Just finding the printer was probably the hardest part. I finally found someone in Illinois who could do it for a reasonable price, and it's just amazing seeing it actually come alive. We launched back in January of this year, and we're doing really well. I think Christmas is going to be great.
What's the full scope of the book itself? How many different ways can somebody use this thing?
There's 3 sections. The first one is the cigar life section. This is where you get into your history. Why do you smoke cigars? How did you get started? Who got you into it? Who's a part of it? Who's a part of your journey? And then the next section is the legend section. And this is where your most special moments go. I had a guy post on Instagram. He tagged me in a photo where recently one of his friends died. And so he smoked a cigar in his honor and put that in his book and wrote about it and everything. So moments like that go in there, but they don't happen. They don't happen every day. This is not something that you do every single day. This would be something you would do maybe once every couple of months, maybe even 3 or 4 times a year. And so when you have your most high quality moments in the legend section, it will last you a really long time. And like I said, for the 3rd section, there's the collection section, where you just put in extra bands. Like for mine, I have my Rocky Patel page. I've got my Padron page going. I've got my One Lonely Davidoff band going for my Davidoff page, understandably. And so there's a total of 419 band placements. So it'll last you a good while. There's really no need to buy a second one. And of course, as an entrepreneur, if you want extra pages, I'll find a solution for you. Don't Don't worry about that. I've got you covered.
Now, I first reached out for this book for a gift for somebody that had literally everything, and I thought it was just the perfect fit. But who else is this customer or is this product geared towards? You know, is there a target audience or a specific type of cigar enthusiast?
What I've noticed from people who have talked to me is that it's a great book for a seasoned cigar smoker, but also a new smoker, someone who's just getting started, someone who wants kind of that momentum. It can be really great for them. It's awesome for collectors, for collection nerds, people who have done coins or people who have done stamps like back in the day. There are a lot of vintage cigar bands out there that you can collect, and so it's great for those people as well. Look, I mean, this is it's a really nice, coffee table type of thing. I've seen pictures of people, they have it in their office, they have it like in their actual workplace office. They'll have it in their living room, on their entry hall table, their coffee table, in their man cave. It's one of those extra things that it takes your love of cigars to the next level. And also, oftentimes sometimes we get made fun of for smoking cigars. We get criticized for this, and what this book allows you to do, allows you to flop it onto the table and say, hey, we take this a little bit more seriously than you think. Like we're not small people here. This is not just a coping mechanism or something like that. It's a little bit more serious than that. And so this book helps you to kind of break through that sort of fear of explaining your passion, or that sort of fear of rejection there. It also helps with that.
Price is usually the first and only objection that I hear whenever I mention the Cigar Legend itself. So if somebody were on your website right now, they were checking it out, and price was their objection, what would you say to them?
The price of the book is way higher than anything you'll see, of course, on the market, but it's for a very good reason. When people get the book, sometimes they'll message me on Instagram, or they'll email me, and they'll say, wow, this is way bigger than I thought. This is way nicer than I expected. And that's the thing about creating a product like this. It's really hard to show on the website exactly what's going on. I've heard many times pictures do not do it justice. And the other thing that you have to understand is that this is not just a book that you'll have for a year and then you'll need a new one. Like I said, it will last forever. It's made here in the US, it's highest quality, and it acts as an heirloom. So when you think about it, this is something that will eventually turn into sort of like a tome that you will eventually pass down. And I know there's a lot of people who they'd rather keep their sort of cigar notes in like on a PDF or on Google Drives or whatever. And the thing that I say is, when your kids are looking through your stuff, do they want to find a PDF of your cigar life, or like an actual leather-bound cigar journal that describes your cigar life? And so I would think about that. This is not a multiple time purchase. It's something that's going to be one time. Cigar guys, a lot of us are family people too. We kind of come from that sort of angle. And so it just makes it even more special. And I tell you, when I was designing this thing, I had to hand make a sort of a prototype to show to people. And I would write in it just to practice, just to see how the paper would feel, and how the pen would write on the paper. And one time I misplaced it. And I kind of did one of these, was like kind of looking around, almost started sort of mildly panicking as to where my cigar journal was. I'm telling you, when you put the entries in there, when you start developing it, it becomes kind of a part of you. I mean, I always know where mine is. It's always near me. And you mentioned it has a kind of a beef to it. I'll show you one page here. This is kind of where I keep my most of my miscellaneous bands. This will kind of give you an idea as to how big it is. You know, I think that's what, 18 per spread, 9 per page. So I think it's a special thing. I think that people really love it. You know, I get a lot of messages from people who say, they'll say, you know, thanks for making this for us. You know, thank you for doing this kind of thing. We really appreciate it. So I think people will enjoy it.